Shalom, shalom. How we doing today? I pray everybody is well. Well, today's conversation is a very relevant one because it deals with men. Many men who have gotten themselves together as building friendship. Some of them do it with a motive. Some of them do it. Excuse me one second. Some of them do it without even considering the other person's and the things that they want to do in life. And one thing I learned is that, if you are kind of person that wants to build friendship with other men have to not have a motive in order to be your friend. They can't be because they want you to be a part of something in order to be your friend. You know, um, I'm a kind of person where that I build friendship with people when the Most High permits the time for friendship. There's a time when you have to work as a one unit on your own in order to get to the place that you're trying to achieve. And I know that this will probably be an unusual um, live because it's about men basically. Now I'm a kind of person where that I had talked to someone that's really dear to me about this of building friendship with other men. I'm a person that, I have a lot of confidence in who I am as a person. So it's kind of like one of those situations where that is a person, whether they're very wealthy or whether they have nothing, I'm not very much like it, even if they have an anger issue, it doesn't really intimidate me to feel some type of way about a person. I believe that only another man can really work with another man to build another man. I don't think that some men look at it like that, that, you can be raised at a mother, at a father, and you could be raised with women so much that you feel like you can only relate to other women when you having conversation about deep things. And it can really hurt you because when you are dealing with men, there's a connection, and I'm not talking about intimacy in the way that some people look at it, but I'm saying when you are building friendship with men, you will learn a lot about yourself through the mirroring of other men. You'll learn how the mechanics of what create a better person in a man can only be really taught in a way that another man is orchestrating it. And that doesn't mean that you have to be a rich man or a wealthy man to accomplish that goal. You can be very much in a place of not having anything and still be able to help someone grow and develop in their life as another man. So, this is about men who want fellowship, but they have a motive in between the fellowship. It's about something that they desire from you. And what it is that they can't just have a commonality. They have to be on the top of someone in order to feel as though they can drive a point of friendship. You know, a man should have an equal standing no matter who that man is, no matter who that person is, whether they got something that you need or not need. You should be able to communicate with another man without feeling a sense of intimidation, without feeling as though you have to give something for them to spend time with you as a man. You shouldn't have to go through none of that. A man should be able to commit himself to another man without feeling because he has stuff that he can't communicate with you unless you on a certain status. Like those things is what causes men never to grow and learn from each other. Because wisdom tells you that you can develop a sense of character through the development of building with men. The same way, I looked on this YouTube, I saw tremendous of things of women and support groups, women doing many things unified, but I see very little bit of men doing a lot of stuff unless it has a motive involved. And what I mean by motive is that either it's about something that orchestrate their lives to be in commonality, whether it's the game, whether it's playing video games, whether it's the same job, whether it's the same mindset that y'all doing things together, but not because of something that signify that y'all can be together as just basic friends and don't have nothing in common. Nothing. You don't have to have commonality with someone in order to feel comfortable talking to someone that's of the same gender as you. But a lot of men, well, I don't know. I'd like to be on my own. But you don't have a problem with being around a bunch of women. Then you must not want to be on your own. You just want to be around a bunch of women. Like, you have to realize that being around other men help you to build integrity, help you to build character, and it help you to stay accountable for the mess that you keep putting yourself in. Because that's what other men supposed to do for other men. You know, the Bible have the thing of iron sharpen iron, but it also goes the same way when you are dealing with another man who may have some things going on in their life, but they don't want to talk about it. But when they are among other men who can give them insight, they'll keep quiet. They'll keep quiet. They'll sit right there knowing that they're going through struggles and they won't say a word. Then they go home and they walk with shame for whatever reason that they're dealing with, and they'll never be honest to themselves about the struggles that they're going through because they feel some type of way about being around other men. You know, I have learned over the years of my life, I was one who's very much aware of being in a position to be around all kinds of people. I was blessed and fortunate to have many people around my life. Didn't matter the race or whatever the situation was, I was blessed that I can get along with everybody because I have been associated with so many people throughout my life. And some people have not had or was fortunate enough to have that kind of life. Some are just accustomed to what they're accustomed to. So they don't know the different types of cultures, and they don't know the different types of race. So they don't know how to really work with other people from different places because they're accustomed to what they see. And that doesn't mean of one color, it's just anybody across the board as a man. But when you stop looking at yourself and start seeing that other people have something of value to help you further along in your life, you'll stop putting everything as if you the one in charge. And that's what I see a lot. You know, I see a lot of men wants to be the king of the jungle. You know, they don't want everybody, you know, they have other lions come, but they don't have a problem with all the lioness. They have a problem with other men. They feel some type of way. And I just had to express that. I was looking at something on a video about this man, and he was talking about the very same thing of him talking with other men, and they felt some type of way of being around him because he was very much confident in who he was, and they felt some type of way. And I feel that, you know, you should never feel like that being around another man. If you have a confidence in yourself, it's not about what you have or don't have, your weight, your height, your age, none of that matters. You as a man should always be confident as a man of who you are. You should never feel uncomfortable being who you are. I don't care who you are, because you are a man. If you're a woman, it's the same way. I'm just talking about men. But you should never compare yourself to other people. You should never look at somebody and say, well, that person is a little this. You should never do that. Why? Because you as a man is good as who you are as a man. You should not have a problem being around other men and feel like you got to be quiet and timid But when you around a bunch of women, you loud and boisterous. Like you can't feel uncomfortable as a man around other men. And sometimes, I have talked to men, and a lot of them always, they want me to do something. They need me to do this. They need me to do that. But they never have an intimacy of conversation about anything other than what they need done. And I'm not talking about things that you have to do because you work. I'm talking about people, period. Oh man, I need this done. And then, you got the ability to do that. Is that more important to you than to be around somebody to get to know them so that y'all can grow and help each other? Why is it that you got to feel as though you in charge in order for you to feel comfortable being around somebody, or make somebody feel like they're not in charge and small, just so that you can feel comfortable in yourself? Gentlemen, men, just remember this. Like you got to see this as how it is. As a man, if you are a person that feels uncomfortable around other men, you got to start talking to yourself about why you feel that way. What is it that causing you to feel conflicted in yourself every time you're around other men? And if they, whether they are intimidating to you, or whether they are a threat to you, or you feel like they suspect to you, whatever the case may be, why would you as a person, a man, feel uncomfortable because another man can talk a little bit more eloquent, or another man can flash out money, or another man can boast of all the things he has? Why would that be a problem for you if you are a man that knows yourself? You may not have everything, or you may have a lot of things. Does that make you feel uncomfortable because somebody else have something more, or they just more of a person that's not too shy and talking? Where do you sit in that? And the reason why I'm bringing that is very important, because men should be able to fellowship with other men and not feel as though the only way they can talk with someone, they got to have a motive. Oh, I need you to cut my grass. I need you to do this. I need you to do that. What about just, hey, you want to go out and get a burger and we just chill and talk? What about, hey man, I just, I just got a promotion at the job. What do you think about this? What about, somebody talk, hey man, me and my wife, we having some issues, and I think we may get a divorce, and I'm not sure how to handle it. Those are things that men should be able to talk about and not feel intimidated or feel like the person they talking to is going to take their business down the street. Like, we got to learn how to be able to communicate, because this thing about, don't trust this person, don't trust that person, don't do this, don't do that. What does it matter if you're the one dealing with the problem? If you're dealing with the problem and it's interfering with your everyday life, does it matter if somebody trusts you or not trust you? You got to learn how to be transparent without being disclosed to everything that you say. You don't have to be able to, tell somebody every little thing about you, but you should be able to communicate with some other man who may be going through the same struggles, but they may not be in your shoes. You understand what I'm saying? Like, they may not be in your shoes. They may not have what you have, or they may not struggle like you struggle, but they still going through a struggle. And if you uncomfortable talking to someone about issues of your heart, then when do you ever get help? Because if you keep going to women, and no disrespect to women, if you keep going to women with your problems, and you automatically, let's say you're in a relationship and you going to women, talking to other women about your issues, does that make sense? Or you talking to your significant other about your issues, but she may or may not understand some of the manly part about it, and then you feeling uncomfortable because this is the only person you have an out with. Like, you got to be able to communicate in a way that you can say something and not feel intimidating yourself or feel uncomfortable in saying something or worrying about what somebody's going to say. Because believe me or not, a lot of men go through things that other men go through. And that is just a fact. And the thing is that men that have an issue with talking with other men, I always tell them, learn where you at in it. What's really the problem that you have that you can't talk to another person because you feel in some type of way? That's something you have to check in yourself. That's something you have to work through in yourself. Can't nobody do that for you. And I had to learn those very lessons. I've never had a problem communicating with other men, but they always had a problem communicating with me, or they have a reason why they need to communicate. Otherwise, we don't talk at all. That's not a good way to build relationship with other people. Shalom. I pray this is helpful to someone. Be blessed.